Rip lighting, it's storming, and it's been storming for the last 2 days. But you know I need to film, so it's fine. Hey guys, it's Deborah. So today I am going to be talking about some more books that I've read recently. There are 6 books that I'm going to talk about. Let's just get on with the video. First, I finished Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. This whole video is just going to be me talking about Throne of Glass, the Throne of Glass series. So if you haven't read this book or any of the ones following that, you should probably leave, because there will probably be minor spoilers throughout the whole thing as I talk about my feelings, because there's too much of reading that I did in a very short amount of time for me to make an individual review on each of these books. The first book follows the main character, Selena Sardothian. Selena just came from the salt mines of Endovier, which is basically an slavery camp, and she was rescued from here by the Crown Prince and the captain of the guard to be Dorian, who is the Crown Prince's champion in this battle, to be the King of Otterland's assassin. Along that, there are a lot of magical elements that are discovered, like how magic is completely banned, and it's impossible to get magic, to be able to like use magic within this city because of a thing that the King of Otterland did. Then I read Crown of Midnight, the next book in the Throne of Glass series, also by Sarah J. Maas. This book follows Selena after she has won and become the King's Champion, and as she is going through and completing all of his tasks. She is completing them though, and she's not actually killing any of the people he's ordering her to kill. Spoilers! We discover that Dorian has magic. Holy crap, Dorian Havillard has magic. And then we also discover that Selena is Fae. And that she's Aelin Ashriver Galathinius. All of that happens in this one book. Like, all of that is in Crown of Midnight. She's Aelin. Then I read Ira Fae, also by Sarah J. Maas. I think this might be one of my favorites in this series. In this book, she goes to Wendlin, and because she was ordered to go there by the king to kill off the king and the prince and stuff over there during this big ball, and she's sent over there for multiple months. It was actually Kale's idea. I've never actually mentioned Kale. Wow, okay. They had like a little love thing for a little bit. Anyways, they're broken off now. So in this book, she ends up meeting this guy named Rowan because she is in an awful place. And Rowan was sent to do this, to come find her by Maeve. Rowan teaches Aelin how to wield her powers properly in this book, and how to become the Queen of Terrasen that she rightfully is. And then some other things start happening in here. Rowan is my favorite thing! And then, I bet you can't guess, but I read Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas next. This is the, I don't know how to consider it because I think this is the 4th book in the series, but then there's Assassin's Blade, which comes at the beginning, but you know, it's really weird. Okay. In Queen of Shadows, Aelin goes back to Otterland so that she can defeat the King of Otterland and, you know, give Dorian his rightful place on the crown, or on the throne, and all of that fun jazz. So in this book, we get the more blossomed version of Rowan and Aelin's love story together, which is fantastic. I ship them so hard. I think this is my favorite in the series so far. I'm pretty sure this is my favorite. There's not a lot of Kale in here, and I am happy about that. He's actually in here a lot, but like, it's fine. Anyway, so at the end of this book, they kill the King of Otterland. Dorian kills his own father. But we also find out this piece of information about Parrington, which is the Lord of Peranth, and how he is actually Erewhon, and Erewhon is not actually dead. They didn't actually defeat Erewhon like we were told, and all of this other fun stuff that's fantastic and awful for the future of Aelin and Rowan and all of my babies. Now, Dorian is technically the King of Otterland, but he is not been given his rightful place on the throne, because none of the lords will accept him and actually like crown him, like legally crown him or whatever, because they don't want him to be king. And in Ira Fae, Manon Blackbeak, or Manon apparently, but that's wrong. It's Manon Blackbeak is introduced, and she is an Iron Teeth witch. She is fantastic. I love her. I still don't like her as much as Aelin only, but Manon Blackbeak, thank you. In this book, we get introduced to this character named Elide. She is brought under Manon's wing, or I guess technically Abraxas's wing, because that's like the literal sense there. And it's great, and I love her. Then I read The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas. Do you see a trend here? Yeah, you should. So this book is the prequel novella set. It's a bind-up of multiple novellas that are taking place before Throne of Glass actually starts, and they are what leads into the series. We get a lot of information involving Sam Courtland, which is somebody that is mentioned and referenced quite a lot in the series, and we get a lot of insight on him as a character. We get introduced to Ansel of Briarcliff, and she becomes involved in the story later on. In this book, we also get introduced to Ilias, who is the son of the Silent Assassins. The last book that I read recently was Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas. This was not my favorite in the series, but I enjoyed it. It broke my heart into 1,000 pieces. Maeve is a very common enemy in this book. Rowan is chillin', he's chillin' and grillin'. Aelin is not allowed to be crowned as the frickin' Queen of Terrasen because the 5 lords that are left over are just like, you abandoned us for 10 years, no thank you. You're an assassin, no thank you. We don't need an assassin ruling our land, please go away. And it ticks me off a lot. In this book, Aelin and Manon meet together, and at the end of the book, Elide's story also collides with Manon and Aelin's, and I love how all of that was written together and how their stories just weaved so nicely, because they met in Queen of Shadows briefly, and they had this big fight. She saved her life, whatever, it's fine. And then she repays it technically, but then she saves Manon's life again in this book because Manon almost died. Manon owes her another life debt, and it's great. So they're basically on the same side because they both want Erewhon dead. And now it seems like Erewhon is just this pesky little nemesis in the corner that is important. He's not the highest enemy that there is, because Maeve becomes even worse than she was in Ira Fae and Queen of Shadows. She's not really in Queen of Shadows much. So at the end of the story, we hear that Aelin has gotten all of her connections to survive this flippin' war, and then Maeve takes her. So Maeve takes her hostage instead, and Aelin has already secured all of these connections so that they can have an army still to fight for them, and Aelin has given up on herself, and she just sacrifices herself so that Terrasen can have can survive this war. She marries Rowan at the end of the book, like 2 days before she is captured by Maeve, so that Terrasen has a rightful king, legally has a king, but she's gonna die and nobody is gonna know because Lysandra is going to shapeshift and be Aelin all the time and is just going to like, and she's succeeding already. Like in the last couple of chapters, she succeeds and is able to convince Ansel of Briarcliff that she's Aelin, and Ilias that she's Aelin, and all of these people that she's actually Aelin Ashford for Galathinius, because Lysandra is so good at life. I am shook still, y'all. I can't with the end of this story. My baby Rowan was lied to by Maeve about his mate. His mate That is not okay. That is not something you get to lie about. I'm rambling. I'm going to stop talking now. This series so far has broken my heart into 1,000 pieces, and I am extremely sad to have to survive an entire book with just Kale's point of view because I honestly don't care. Like, I want to see him go to the Torah Kesme because I love Nesrin. We learned about her very briefly in the Queen of Shadows, but in this book, like, he's not in here at all, and I love that because I can't stand, I hate him. I don't hate him, but he's just a nuisance and he's annoying, and I can live without an entire book about him. These are all of the books that I've read recently. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like and subscribe to my channel and ding the bell to get notified every time I upload. I will see you guys in the future. Goodbye! There's also characters introduced like Ansel Nightshade. That's not her last name. Nope, that's the wrong book series. Alright. Oh, bye.